Recognize Rep. A. Senator Selena Babauta. Okay, we'll go ahead and allow each member to introduce themselves. Thanks.
Good afternoon, Charlie. My name is Jompo Sablon, one of the representative here for election precinct 2.
Good afternoon, sir. Angelo Camacho, representative for District 5.
Good afternoon, sir. Vice Speaker Joel Camacho, representative for Precinct 4.
Good afternoon, Representative Edmund S. Villagomez, Speaker of the House.
Good afternoon, sir. Vincent Aldan, representative for Precinct 1, PUTC, Chairman.
Good afternoon, Rep. Yumo, Precinct 3, Ralph.
Good afternoon. I'm Representative Julie Ogo from the island of Rota. I'm the Vice Chair for the Rota Delegation and Chair for Commerce and Tourism. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Vicente Castro Camacho, Representative Precinct 3. Welcome.
Good afternoon. Diego Camacho, representative for Precinct 1 and chair of the Cannabis Committee.
Good afternoon, Rep. Rep. Manny Castro, representative of Precinct 2 and chairman of the Education Committee.
Good afternoon, Speaker and members. Thank you so much for allowing me. I'm going to try to not move so much because I think something's sensitive here and the presentation keeps getting on and off. So I'm going to try to see it. I like to move around. I was born in Queens, New York, so I use my hands a lot and I like to go, in and out. So, but I really do. I'm honored and privileged to be here to have the opportunity to just take a couple of minutes of your time to explain a little bit of what we're doing and the opportunities and the reality of things that we've been working on for months. The reality is that what we're going to talk about today is not only a vision anymore, it's actually becoming a reality. And one of the things that we wanted to put forth in front of you was the fact that everything that we're going to present and to talk about today is something that we can do right now. A lot of folks that I've presented to sometimes think that we're crazy about the stuff that we're talking about, but that's one of the reasons why we've gone out and actually recorded it. We do a lot of video recording because the proof is in the visualization and actually seeing everything that we talk about in action. And so I will talk about the company. My name is Charlie Hermosa. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Bella Wings Aviation. Bella Wings Aviation was founded on the premise that everybody, no matter where you live, should have the access to deliveries, primarily of medicine, primarily of essential needs. So whether you live on an island with one person or you live on an island with 50 million people, everybody should have the ability to be able to get things that you need to be able to survive day in and day out. With that being said, we formed a company, and our vision right now is to be able to be the leaders in the network, in the infrastructure and network creation of drone technology in this side in the Pacific. And the reality is that we're on our way. I think most of you may know our company. We were the ones that actually did the drone light show for the Pacific Mini Games. And so that's the sexy thing. That's the sexy part of the company. That's, the shows and everything else. But the technical aspect of being able to put something together and the technical background that goes into it is something that we want to continue to move forward. And one of the things that we have done is we have established relationships and great contacts in the FSM, in Palau, in the RMI. And these are the islands that we want to be able to continue to support. Obviously, Guam and Saipan are included, but we want to be able to create an environment where the work is going to be done here in the CNMI. And that's one of the things that we wanted to discuss further with you. So our foundation is based on pretty much three pillars: education, workforce development, and the ability to create a new industry. So one of the things that we've been able to really establish is being able to go out and discuss this type of technology with high school students, with college students, and be able to get the buy-in that we're able to bring that type of technology here today. And the reality is that we want to be able to create an infrastructure that will allow them to go through the school system here locally, but then they would have somewhere to use their skills and not necessarily go off island to use those skills. So we want to be able to create an ecosystem that we start them early. We can even start them as early as 7 years old, 8 years old, get them into the high school, get them into the trades. They don't necessarily have to go to university. Get them into the trade schools, get them into the universities, but then have an ability to be able to use those skills and stay here, either whether it's on Guam or the CNMI. And that's our goal. We want to be able to retain the talent that we have. We can't allow any more of our folks getting off island and looking for other opportunities. We want to be able to create that environment here today. And the tech industry is a prime, it's prime right now for something like this to be created in this region. And we can be the leaders right now in the Pacific in doing that. We're competing against companies today that we're head to head with the technology that they have as Amazon, Google, and those type of companies on the mainland. We're competing against them right now in the technology race, but we're able to do it out here in the Pacific. And we're going to continue to do that and continue to move forward. The workforce development, we have a lot of folks that we work with today. Our age, I will be honest, our age range of the folks that work in our company do start as young as 19, 20, but we also have in the 50s and 60s, because the technology aspect of being able to understand circuit boards and soldering and welding, all that, those aspects come back. And we want to be able to create the programs that would allow people that want to switch industries and come into this side of the house on the tech side. We'll be able to train them and get them on board to help us in our mission and the workforce that we need in order to stand up tech factories, which is what we're going to talk about in a few minutes. And finally, it's a self-sustainment. It's that ecosystem of creating a new industry outside of the industries that we have today, outside of the military, outside of the hospitality, restaurants, and so forth. We have a great opportunity to be able to create a new industry here in the CNMI that would allow us to self-sustain everything. It's an ecosystem that we want to be able to create. On Guam, we've started to, and a lot of what we've been doing on Guam is proof of concepts, because we want to been able to show the fact that we can do this type of work. On the left, you'll see we were designated. We built the first 20 sets of drones in our flight lab, and those 20 sets of drones went into an education system, into a STEM program, but they were built on Guam. They were built by folks that were homemade, home brand, and then once we went through the check system, we got them tagged as being able to show the seal of made on Guam. So the drones that we actually make on Guam do have the seal of made on Guam. So when they export, we could export drones that are tagged as made on Guam. We want to be able to sustain that and do that here as well. The other pictures you'll see, educations, we do a lot of outreach with schools. We want to be able to continue to spark an interest with the students and all the schools. Get them young, get them to understand that, their abilities unfortunately in gaming could actually be valuable. The hand and eye coordination that these kids growing up have is unbelievable. So they're smart, they're brilliant, and we want to be able to capitalize that as they continue to move up in their education programs. On the bottom right, first responders, we were working here with the fire department. We were showcasing the abilities of drones and how they can be utilized in saving lives. The fact that a drone can give you a second of additional time for you to be able to search on somebody that's lost, somebody that potentially is drowning, is huge, because as everybody knows, every second counts. You'll also see that I use a lot of pictures. I'm a former Marine as well. I served in the Marine Corps for 7 years. We use a lot of pictures, not too many words. So hopefully you guys are okay with me using pictures quite a bit. This is the first education sponsored by the NASA grant program through UOG. We took, I believe, I think it was a total of 16 students from UOG, and we trained them under the FAA Part 107 system. So we had a curriculum created. We trained them to get certified under the FAA Part 107, and they all graduated, got their license, and now they're licensed as FAA Part 107 pilots. They can commercially fly drones, and obviously under the FAA regulations, if you use drone technology in any aspect to receive monetary value, you need to have a license that's under the Part 107. Recreational is completely different, but if you use drones for monetary value, you have to have a Part 107 license. This is a little clip of
All right, Anthony, welcome back to the.
oh, sorry. This is a clip of last week. We launched what we call the Junior Drone Program. We were able to receive a grant from GITA that is going to allow us to create an after-school program. And what we deem, we're going to create a junior drone program for kids from the ages of 7 to 12. They're going to go through a 12-week program. They're going to become pilots at that young age. So we have a curriculum. We've partnered up with one of the best companies in STEM out there, which is Drone Legends. Their curriculum is a curriculum that kind of puts them into a STEM style program. It's free. So we want to be able to cater to families that may not have the ability to send their kids to a school that has that type of program. So we're going to bring it out to them. And this was just a little bit of a clip that we did last week with might have been able to.
All right, Anthony, welcome back to the hotspot. Charlie Hermosa is in studio. He is a former, can you ever be a former U.S. Marine? He's a lifelong U.S. Marine. He's a professor at the University of Guam, and he's also president of Bella Wings Aviation. He is rocking the shirt right now, and I love that logo, by the way.
Yep. The audio's supposed to be in the.
Oh.
How do you get it thing? Good. So let's switch out.
All right, Hafide, and welcome back to the hotspot. Charlie Hermosa is in studio. He is a former, can you ever be a former U.S. Marine? He's a lifelong U.S. Marine. He's a professor at the University of Guam, and he's also president of Bella Wings Aviation. He is rocking the shirt right now, and I love that logo, by the way, Charlie.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
I like that.
I think everybody kind of, the branding is key now with BWA. So everybody.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you have actually established your own passion and your own expertise as the brand to go to when people want take an interest in drones out here, and you've actually got a new program that's making technology available and comprehensible to young people. Because I remember when drones first came out, it's like, okay, well, you have to be really, really good with cameras, you have to know how to fly and everything like that, and it was very, very esoteric. But now you're actually trying to make this technology, like I said, digestible by little kids.
Oh no, absolutely, and
it should be.
No, absolutely, and I think that that's really where the sort of creative minds came to be about the program, because one of the things that we quickly noticed was the fact that everybody sort of loves, drones and the technology and where it's going, but we wanted to be able to bring it to the level where we can start kind of putting an idea to the kids as they continue to, move up in their ranks, move up in the school system, because we're actually always looking for pilots. We're looking for people to come in the industry, join our company, and so why not better a way to be able to promote the industry at a younger age and get them interested so young? So
it's a total win-win for you, because you have a cadre, if you will, of well-trained, well-aware technicians, operators, and everything like that, and then you get a lot of people who are super stoked about this technology.
No, absolutely. Our mission right now is to be able to spark that interest and to keep them on island. Mm-hmm. So let's get them through the school system, through UOG, GCC, and then come back and be able to have an industry where they can work for.
Yes, sir. Okay, so when we talk about the junior drone program, right, Charlie? How junior is junior? That's a fairly well defined range, I would say.
Yeah, so we sort of defined it between the ages of the program is going to be the ages to 7 to 12.
Okay.
And the way the program is going to be structured is very sort of mission essential. So it's a 12-week program. We could either do it two days a week or 1 day a week, depending on how the after school program can run with the parents being able to get the kids. It's going to be on a first come first serve basis. So we have spots for 14 kids on this initial round. We also do want to thank Gita because this is through a grant that we were able to receive and to do the after school program.
Mm-hmm.
So without their help, this could not be possible.
And I would suspect that each one of those seats is going to.
And so that's sort of the premise. We want to be able to start the program as early as 7. And one of the things that we want to be able to do is cater to all walks of families throughout the entire island. So the program was initially set for just a one-time session, but we're going to continue doing it. And we're going to take it down south because one of the things that I quickly saw was that not all the students from down south are going to be able to make it to the middle of the island when we have the classes. So we're going to bring the program to them, to Inarajan, Moleso, and all the areas that are further tucked in Guam. So I think that everybody should have the opportunity and just be able to have the opportunity to spark that interest for the kids to be able to continue to learn and continue on their education with whatever they may do. But with the industry that we want to create, we want to let them know that go through a trade school, learn the trade, go through university, stay on island, help us grow the industry. And that's sort of the ecosystem we want to be able to continue to promote. This is just a couple of pictures of the initial drones that we built on Guam as part of the STEM program. Now this is a little bit where it may get a little bit, you may ask some questions. So I am proud to say that we have signed a contract with a company based out of Chicago to manufacture what they call the drone box systems. And the drone box systems, pretty much, I will show you a picture shortly. This was just featured about a year and a half ago in the Wall Street Journal. The company was featured in the Wall Street Journal as far as the leading technology of the way the communities and villages are going to look like in the future. So these are the drone box systems. They look like locker systems. Basically, as you can see, the drones land on top. They release the package. There's an elevator in the middle that grabs the package, puts it into an empty locker system. You get a ping on your phone saying that you have a delivery. You walk with that phone over, you scan the phone, the locker opens, and you pick up your package. So we believe that creating this infrastructure and throughout the villages where there is no postal service, islands that don't have post offices, this will be the key aspect of us being able to utilize drone to be able to deliver packages, medicine, and so forth. It's a controlled environment. So the medicinal industry has also looked at this, and possibly we'll be using this in order to be able to deliver medicinal marijuana because it's a very closed loop system. You're not leaving the package in front. You're not knocking in somebody's door. You're the only one that has the code that is able to open up that locker. So we believe that it's a closed end system. So that's one viable option when it comes to the industry. But these are the systems that we are going to be building. This is the system that we are going to be building in this side of the world. We want to first take these systems and use them internally. So we're going to say is how can we strategically place these systems throughout the island or islands that don't have any type of postal service, and how can we use this internally? Second is to be able to export these to other island nations, other countries that may be interested in this system. And the reality is, and the agreement is that if we can find a good price point to be able to get it either equal or slightly lower than the cost of them making them currently today in Chicago or in Canada, they will give us 100% of the manufacturing here. So they will buy from us from this side, and then we'll ship it out. So on the shipping side, I think we have a good understanding of what that cost is going to be. On the manufacturing side, that's something that we're putting together. We have about 6 to 7 months to stand up the factory, and this is something that I'm working on right now. So 6 to 7 months I have to stand up the factory, find the workforce, source the materials. The engineering is set already, so we have the blueprints, we have the CAD drawings, we have everything set to start. We know the machines that we need. We just need the workforce. We need a factory layout, and we can start working on making these things. So I know it kind of sounds a little bit easier said than done, but that I want to make it just from a perspective that that's how fast this thing's going to move. So this would be the first tech. This will be the first tech component being made out here in this side of the world, and we believe that that's going to spark up a lot of interest in the globe when we start making these tech products out here, because people are going to be like, what the hell's going on out there? What are we doing? So, and all we need, and in every discussion that we've had, all we need is just one little spark for the global market to understand that they can come into this market and set up shop. Okay? It doesn't have to be garments. It can be tech. And that's one of the things that we want to be able to continue. There is no reason, not one person has ever given me any reason as to why we can't set something up here. Workforce development, we don't have the manpower. I'll challenge you on that because I can train the people. Education, I got it. We can do it. There's no reason why. Because every time you read an economic development plan, it's always the same plan every single year. We can't do this because we don't have the people, we don't have the talent, we don't have education, we don't have this. But I really, truly believe that we do. And at this point, we have to do it. I'm going to do it. So we're going to do this one way or another. This is another video of the advancements of what we also want to bring to technology. So one of the things that we've started doing on Guam as well is we're using drone technology to supplement inspections. So here we're inspecting a telecom tower. So no more the use of having people to rappel on the towers and inspect and be dangerous where they fall off or have a major accident. The drone technology right now, we can recreate a digital copy of the actual structure or anything that we're inspecting. And you can see that is an actual 3D rendering of a telecom structure that we did for one of the telecom companies.
Now we see the thing on the actual.
The software is able to identify where there was a missing bolt
Can you click on
in that
one?
hole on the right-hand side.
And then you
We
can-
are able to identify
Oh, sure,
rust.
pictures on the right.
We are able to identify the strength of the steel. And this is all done by a drone. This weekend, we got a job, a task order, and that's the reason why I couldn't stay any longer, is because it finally came through. We were waiting a couple months, but the port has authorized us. They want us to do the scanning and maintenance, create a maintenance program for the cranes at the port. So we're going to do the same thing for this, but utilizing the drones to scan the cranes at the port. And they don't longer have to send somebody up to be able to inspect, because they can take this 3D file, you can enlarge it, you can make it smaller, and then to put it a little bit even further is the fact that we're very big on the metaverse, and we believe that being able to teleport into a 3D environment where there's going to come a time, and maybe this is where people are going to start thinking that I'm crazy, but there's going to come a time where we're going to be physically speaking to each other like this, but we're not actually going to be here. Okay? So I believe that when we teleport into programs such as this, you can actually go in and physically inspect the tower. You're in the system, you're submerged into the system, but you're not physically there. We've had this, we've shown it, we've proved it, whether it's walking land. We can 3D image, we can 3D map any land, any structure, and I can be in Hawaii, you can be in Saipan, and I will call you when I said, listen, we need to inspect the tower. Okay, we dong on the 3D headsets and we teleport into this world, and now we can talk to each other as we walk. We jump into the tower, we can grab it, We can enlarge it. We can say, okay, this is the area that we want to concentrate, put it back, and then we continue moving. This is the reality. And remember what I said, we're doing it now. So we want to be able to continue to promote this locally from an infrastructure, inspection, and things that we need to be able to use to continue to advance what we're doing here locally from power, electricity, telecom, you name it. This was just a quick picture of our flight lab being opened on Guam. We were very proud to open this flight lab, and it's a community flight lab. We call it a community because we invite everybody to come here to our lab, whether you're 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever age you want, to come up and experience and just come in and hang out with us and see what we're doing. And that's sort of the dynamics that we want to be able to bring to the community. So I think the bottom line is that we want to be able to create an environment that we create the ecosystem in order for us to create a new industry and bring our people back. We want to be able to create an education system, create a brand new industry, and be able to support internal other than what we have today. The last thing that I would leave you with is a quick video. There is no sound, and it was intentionally not to have sound because there was a notion that I can talk through it.
I have a question, Mr. Ramos.
Yep.
So you're doing this presentation, but what is the ask of the statement exactly?
Oh, well, that is gonna, my ask will be as soon as you see this video.
And we have 5 minutes.
Yep.
Thank you.
So the reality is that we've already started on the delivery program. So we have long-range drones that we've started to utilize on Guam, and we historically made the first island-to-island delivery last week in Pohnpei. We delivered a medical device and systems to Bach. It was a box system, 12 miles, using drone technology to deliver the box of medicine to what it was there. This is one of our drones. It's close to a 9 feet wingspan. It can fly for 3.5 hours. Everybody that you see in the video, they're all local, homegrown folks that work for us. And the reality is that we're doing this now. Our mission is to go as far as 400 to 600 miles. That is our mission. So the senator asked a great question. What is my ask? I truly believe that every time I come back to the CNMI, I think that the ability for us to be able to start up the manufacturing, create the education program, and really get some search and research and development status, I think the CNMI is the place that we would like to do it. So my ask is, I need for you to share the vision. My ask is, I need your support to continue on this mission, to be able to utilize CNMI as the means to be able to grow this type of industry in this region, in this side of the Pacific. And we have the ability to make this happen. The last part of the video is actually the actual delivery that we made in Pohnpei. So we took off from the island Pohnpei and we went 10 to 12 miles out to the atoll Ant Island. And it was the first medical delivery using drone technology. And we can only continue to grow from this point.
Does it have any defense weapons on it?
There,
You can use this to search up all the overstaying Chinese.
yeah, yes. Yeah. So that's actually that's a great question, and it's a little bit funny because in the sense because we actually when we went out to look at different manufacturers that had this, we actually flew out to Turkey, and the first set of drones that were shown had sort of like missile projectile. We were like, no, this is not what this is not what we're looking at. So the drone is coming in. On this one, we sort of delivered it a little, at a high, but we wanted to show that if there was no way to land, we can actually release the package. And again, proof of concept, that was 3 to 4 pounds. It was 10 to 12 miles, and it was done with a vertical, a VTOL, what they call a VTOL. So we don't need a runway. It's vertically take off, and then it turns into a fixed wing airplane.
Yeah, thank you. Very interesting. What is the maximum weight capacity of the drones?
It ranges. So we can go up to 30, 60 pounds. There's a give and take. The more weight you add, the more power it sucks. Right. So the range gets lower. Right. So, but the beauty about this, on a normal day, it would have taken us between 45 minutes to an hour to get to Ant Island. The drone did 7 minutes. So we can do multiple flights, multiple times, going back and forth, delivering whatever we need to get to the site.
So what exactly is your what do you need from us?
So my intent from you is I want to be able to, for you to share the vision that we have of creating this here in the CNMI, because we believe that the CNMI has the infrastructure for us to be able to build out. For example, we've looked at the school in Rhoda that might be underutilized. We could potentially take that over and turn it into a more of an R&D section where we move all our testing into that area. The manufacturing, there's plenty of warehouses here on in Saipan that we can refurbish and turn that into the manufacturing plant that we need. The manpower, we can get it here as well. Education systems, we just went over today and we looked at a beautiful community center that we can hold multiple community events for kids to be able to get educated in this type of technology. So my ask from you is just to be able to not look at me like I'm crazy. Like if you see me in the news and you see me this, don't look at me like I'm crazy, because the fact is that we can do this right now. We can do this right now. I'm not asking anything else, and everybody can vouch for me. I've never come here once asking for anybody to give me $1. All I ask for you is to share the vision that we have in creating this, because the fact is that we can do it. That's all I want.
Charlie, the drones that you built, are they only good to use on a good day, or you can use it only on a rainy day?
Yep. Great question. Because that is one of the things that we wanted to get into. That's the reason why we wanted to get into manufacturing our drones, because the drones that are off the shelf don't meet our weather, right? I mean, what's the sense of having search and rescue, but it can only be when it's 80 degrees, really sunny, and those factors never come into play. What happens when it rains? So we want to be able to, number one, the drones that we built, we want to make them, and I asked this for everybody, what would be the one thing that you would want for a drone? And everybody says the same thing: waterproof. We're all surrounded by water. It rains sporadically, so it could be sunny 1 second, and then it rains for 3 minutes, and then it stops. I mean, but we can't stop operation. So the drones that we would like are going to be waterproof.
What kind of policies, rules, or regulation do you have to agree on in order to fly that just in the open space?
Yeah, so we follow all the FAA guidelines and regulations. I will tell you that we do have a lot of exemptions with the FAA. So we apply for exemptions. So for example, tomorrow, we're going to be doing a drone survey on an aircraft and on an airplane. We're going to use the same type of technology that we did for the tower, but we're going to do it on an airplane. We're going to 3D the airplane and show that you can inspect the plane without actually having somebody physically on the wing, taking the tail. So we're going to go inside the airport and actually do it inside the airport. And it's just a matter of working with the FAA to make sure that we're in compliance with what they need. So as far as regulations, we follow all the regulations. As far as exemptions for us to be able to do testing, we're always bringing that up to the FAA, and they're giving us the approval.
How about when you fly airspaces and, let's say, private residents?
Yeah, so that's always been a huge question. So, and unfortunately, when it comes to private residency, unless the drone touches your private property, if it's in the air, it's under federal airspace. So the air doesn't belong to you as an owner. The house does and the ground does, but the air does not. We can build legislation around invasion of privacy, right? So that's the other out. We don't want to limit the flight and the videos, but we want to be able to control the fact that this nobody should be, spying on you with the drone technology. So there are regulations that we couldn't put into place that would limit the that sort of crossing the fine line.
There were issues in the States, I remember when those things first came
Yeah.
out.
And if you go back and if you look at the rulings, they most of the drone owners won those rulings when the drones were shot down, were taken down with kinetic type energy. That's what happened.
Charlie. So, this is a very innovative program or technology, especially coming from Rhoda. I was just in a town hall meeting the other day, and right now, and ever since the workforce there is majorities under the municipality of Rhoda. So we're trying to find, business opportunities to bring down to Rhoda to transition, some of those, municipality personnel to the business sector. So this is a great
Yeah.
thing, the assembly line
Yeah.
for Rhoda. And then also another thing, you mentioned how 460 miles. So I think that can get from Rhoda to here, right? You can
Oh yeah,
do
yeah,
that
yeah,
well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So, for example, the hospital there will ship out like the blood samples like once a day, and sometimes it doesn't get to Saipan on time. If there's an issue, this will be one way to go
100%.
right away.
100%.
So this is. I hope that you can bring some of this opportunity down.
I yeah, I hope so too, and I think it's just a matter of doing it because I think we have the technology. We just need the support to make it happen. Thank you.
So how long from the beginning to the end does it take to certify somebody to be a pilot?
2
To be an
weeks.
operator?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
How long does it take to manufacture from you bringing in the material and to get it operational?
4 weeks.
4 weeks.
Yeah. So right now, what we envision is from a timing perspective, from the start of the original aluminum, because we're going to have to cut them, design it. It's going to take about close to 4 weeks to finish one box.
So let's say, for example, that you do, when you get your first batch done, right, and you set up shop, the same way, which I hope you do. I'll also, I love the idea. What would it cost, right, to fly a drone from here, let's say, because we want to help our sister islands, right? How much would it cost for Bella to charge, our, brothers and sisters to get medication from PHI or Bravo from here to there without having to wait for a plane at the airport,
Yeah.
to get it shipped there?
So you're probably looking at when it comes to food deliveries, and I would tell you, like for example, on the mainland, they're charging about the same of what they would deliver with a vehicle, so $10 to $15 per delivery. When we're looking at a little bit more high care products like blood and medicine, we're probably looking at probably maybe $80 to $100 per delivery, if it's that care that needs that.
Which would make a lot of sense. I mean, because a flight just waiting
Yeah.
at the tarmac, the time that it needs to go over there, like you said, it's going to take you like what, from here to there, what, 12, 17 minutes?
Correct.
So time is of the essence. You don't
Correct.
have to wait for a pilot or anything like that. Wait for the go ahead of the tower, to fly over to Rhoda, offload it, and then bring it again over to whoever needs it.
Correct.
Where you could go from point A directly to point B and eliminate everybody else in the middle.
Correct. Correct. It's exactly it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So right now, yep. So the average was 60 to 70 miles, but it can go up to 80 now. Yeah, the weather, the winds, and everything. But on average, is between 60 to 70 miles.
So, Charlie, just wanted to, that's why when we took a trip down to Guam. Like this is something that's really a game changer, not only for the industry but our educational system. If and you know the end of any educational system when you graduate from the program, it's to either get a job or be a job creator, and this opportunity provides that. So colleagues, the main thing I think Charlie's asking for is just help to help this industry flourish, and this is a good opportunity given the financial challenges that we're up against. So
Yeah, just share in the vision that we have. I'm sorry. Yeah. Right.
Yes, there's actually a bill that I'll be introducing on the incentive for qualified certification, and we included aviation.
Oh, okay,
I guess we
perfect.
can consider that aviation.
Yeah, 100%. Yep,
One more.
absolutely.
Have you considered introducing that to maybe GPS? And
Yes.
flyer
Yep.
and all
Yeah,
that?
we've had a great meetings with them, and they've wanted to.
And immigration, so we can find those hidden Chinese.
Immigration will be very key.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
No, thank you. Um, yeah.
Sorry, thank you for joining us and thank you for the presentation this afternoon. I was just wondering, you had mentioned that the like medical supplies, for example, like highly sensitive products that will be transmitted, we're looking about $80 to $100. Will, well, I guess, will this be connected to the pharmacy itself and insurance on top of that? Because if we're, I understand that, like, say, it takes Sarmarianas to Rhoda, it's going to take a lot longer to get the product to Rhoda, but it's also like $20 for the package to get there, and it's separate from the insurance. So would that $80 to $100 cost be built into the insurance so that the actual cost of getting the medication to the individual in Rhoda and Tinian be
Yeah.
cheaper?
It can. But the beauty, I won't say the beauty about this, but the uniqueness about this, that it's even in the world, everything is evolving. So we can create this however we want to be able to create it. From a service perspective, we need to make sure that we're delivering a service, and from an economical business perspective, we just want to make sure that we're covering our costs, or there's incentives or programs or grants that allow us to sort of service. Maybe we don't have to charge $100. Maybe we charge even less than that if we're getting subsidies that allow us to continue to work at the level that we need to.
Okay, so on top of that, would this be considered a vocational educational training, or would it be considered as a regular traditional educational system?
So that's one of the things. So well, our next goal is to be able to try to include this as part of the education program. So in the college level, as a course, because it does have an end state. The end state is that you can go through the program, and you license, and then you can graduate as a licensed FAA Part 107 pilot. And the Part 107 pilot license card looks exactly like a manned pilot card. So, but we're always getting called to do different missions, whether it's surveying down in Palau, or I mean in Pohnpei, or in any other jurisdiction, and we're always looking for more pilots to come on board. So not only on the technical, on the engineering side, what we're looking for, but on the pilot side, we're always looking for folks that can support us on the different missions that we do.
Okay. Well, yeah, I guess so. Would it be considered vocational or regular educational?
I mean both.
Both?
Both, yeah.
Okay, I asked that because we have multiple agencies here that can
Correct.
translate into vocational education, right? I mean, nursing, for how crazy it is considered a vocational course.
Correct.
So we can actually use those entities over here to provide the funding so that we can educate the pilots per
Correct.
se, even the manufacturers.
Right. So on the vocational part, we may just need folks that are electrical, and that's all they want to do. I mean, and so we're going to look for folks that are very key on electrical systems. But we're also going to be able to work with the college level to be able to get them through the different type of program on the managerial side per se. So that's how the two vocational and education system would work.
And you guys have met with NMH, I mean, sorry,
And
NM
yes,
Okay, that's great. I was just going to say because it's GCC is another
Yep.
entity that's perfect, right, for
Correct.
this. And have we looked at locations that you might be potential interest for the manufacturing portion of the drones?
yes, yeah. So yeah, we've I mean again, we've been presented with the potential of the university or the school out in Rhoda, which for us looks amazing if it's being underutilized. It has a huge a landing pad. Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, if you're not if you're not using it, I think we could definitely create something that we can utilize it, and it would probably blow the world out if we start testing and doing this type of drone technology and testing out of Rhoda. The world will go insane. I mean, not only the fact
Charlie,
that it's so beautiful.
I know you need to go soon. But colleagues, just to put this into perspective, right now we're funding daycare centers, early childhood centers, for the same demographic that can be converted into training centers. So when DCCA's childcare program, instead of just paying a daycare to watch the kids, that funding can be diverted to a program like this where the kids are learning a skill that can take them into a career. But
Yeah,
thank you, Charlie, for your
Yep,
for your time today.
No, I appreciate it. And the junior drone program, we can that's a mobile program, and you know we've talked about that as possibly bringing it here and just exposing that. Let's just do it like within 4 to 6 weeks, and we can do a program like that.
It doesn't need to go through custom inspections.
What do you mean?
That allows to for pilot to
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Nope. Nope. I'm on. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you very much, Speaker.
I'm gonna play with the mirror